The new, kind of new Iron Banner loot is absolutely perfect. We're finally getting the return of one of my favorite and one of the most lethal PvP primaries, and a new arc trace rifle that has fantastic synergy with all the arc stuff in the artifact, as well as the new arc mechanic bolt charge. So super quick, I'm gonna break down the god rolls for both of these weapons for both PvP and PvE. First up, we'll start with the refresh, Peacebond. Peacebond was a gift in times where stasis primaries were actually pretty rare. If you'll remember, Beyond Light launched with no stasis weapons except for Salvation's grip, and back then that gun was not good. But we've come a long way since then, and we have many stasis weapons at this point. You know what we don't have a ton of? 3-shot burst sidearms. They're definitely out there, but this archetype doesn't get loved very often. Peacebond returning with new traits is fantastic because it's enhanceable now and has access to the new weapon mods in addition to new traits, of course. That is a huge leap from 2 simple traits and basic weapon mods. Your overall stats are going to be much higher than before, which is going to be really helpful because Peacebond can be a little bit jumpy if you don't have enough stability, and a little bit of extra range definitely goes a long way. Peacebond was fantastic. It still is. I was using it to earn my new roll, and the new rolls dropping are going to be even more disgusting. And if you're worried about actually getting a decent roll, there's only 6 traits in each column, so you've got decent odds of landing what you want. In addition to that, it seems like you can focus Peacebond right away if you earned it years ago, although it's also like the 4th award in Saladin's track this month, so it's not going to take too long to get if you didn't already have it. So for PvP, what rolls should you target? Is there even a singular Godroll on this thing? Well, there are definitely some intriguing options. In the first column, you've got Zen Moment, Subsistence, Rangefinder, Lone Wolf, Moving Target, and Headstone. In the second column, you'll find Kill Clip, Frenzy, Desperado, Headseeker, Desperate Measures, and Rhyme Stealer. Before we talk about what you should try, let's talk about the ones you should definitely avoid. Subsistence doesn't serve a lot of purpose in PvP, it just doesn't. The return isn't good enough to justify sacrificing performance perks unless you're an absolute monster in the Crucible and tear through players like Thrall and you just want to reload less. Unless you're that guy, which you're watching my channel, you're not, Subsistence is not the play. Then there's Rangefinder, and I know 10 years of Destiny history makes this look a little more tempting than it really is, but the changes to Rangefinder in the last couple years have rendered it really ineffective. It just doesn't take your weapon's range to the next level anymore. It's going to increase the range at which a reticle is sticky, which is okay, kind of handy, but there is the trade-off of just being more zoomed in. Peacebond is very much a CQC weapon, and high zoom can make it difficult to track targets sometimes. So with the benefit, there are also kind of some drawbacks. To me, picking perks in Destiny is all about opportunity cost in a way. Yes, Rangefinder is helpful, but you're giving up other perks to use it, and in a lot of cases, it just isn't worth it. You'll get more benefit or utility out of something else. Enough about Rangefinder though. In the second column, I would also avoid Desperate Measures and Rhyme Stealer, both for the reason that you're not going to get enough stacks to make either of them significant. Desperate Measures' initial kill buff might be handy, but proccing the ability kill and surviving long enough to make use of it is just highly unlikely. Rhyme Stealer, same thing. You're really not going to get enough stacks for that resistance to matter, like, at all. And if you disagree, then fight me. No, like actually, follow me on Twitch, farm up to 50,000 points, 1v1 me, and then force me to delete a Godroll. I stream on the weekends, so stop by if you want to earn a chance for a 1v1, and you'll also be privileged to learn some new callouts for the symbols in Sundered Doctrine. So what about the traits you should actually get? Well, I've got my eye on 2 potential Godrolls, and then kind of a really fun, wacky one later. First one is the Aim Assist Monster, Lone Wolf and Headseeker. Lone Wolf grants improved airborne effectiveness, ADS speed, and aim assist, and even more if you're alone. Headseeker also boosts critical damage and aim assist after landing a body shot, which typically helps out with forgiveness as well. I actually take to the air with Peacebond a lot more than most weapons. It feels alright, and Lone Wolf actually giving you more AE is definitely intriguing. I don't have this role yet, but I will absolutely be hunting for it. There's no crispy damage buffs, but when you trade in potential damage, you get back in consistency. Peacebond starts at 69 aim assist, add a targeting mod or 2 on your helmet, and then enhanced Lone Wolf and Headseeker. There's a good shot you're just running around with maxed out aim assist, plus other benefits. Not bad at all. The other role is also Lone Wolf, but then Kill Clip this time. Peacebond kills extremely quickly, but Kill Clip is going to be giving you an extremely high damage potential for 2 taps, plus a little bit of forgiveness. With Kill Clip, you're doing 47 damage per crit and a 3-shot burst. It is ridiculous. The only difficulty with Peacebond is staying in the right range. Just outside of Titan Goobers and their shotguns, dancing around enough cover to not get fusioned, it's definitely a challenge, but if you can do it right, the damage output and sheer destruction is just beautiful. This is to me the more exciting role of the two that I just mentioned, but it really depends on what you're looking for. I think in the end, Lone Wolf and Kill Clip offer the most complete role with increased accuracy and a significant damage boost. And when you've got people flying at you in sidearm range, it gets crazy, and being able to drop them in 2 bursts quickly is paramount. I don't have the number in front of me, but that's probably around a 0.5 TTK, which is very fast. Anything around 0.6 is cooking, 0.5 is just disgusting. Now, last option I haven't even mentioned yet is the funny trait, Desperado. I love Desperado. This thing is hilarious. It will improve your TTK, and it just turns your weapon into an absolute bullet hose. The bursts just rattle off so quickly. It's just a delight to use. It may not even be the most worthwhile option, but it's just so fun to proc this and then just melt 2 or 3 people in front of you. Part of the reason I'm not crazy about it is that you need a precision kill to proc it. Sometimes on a 3-burst sidearm, that's just not going to happen. But man, if you do get it rolling, it is so much fun. High damage is fun, but there's just nothing like dumping the mag on somebody like that. Now lastly, there is Headstone, which you may want to consider for trials. It can block revives and set up cover for you as soon as you get a kill. Not my go-to option, but definitely interesting. As for PvE, this is going to be a little bit shorter since the options are more straightforward. Headstone and Desperate Measures would actually be pretty awesome, offering some subclass synergy in addition to a large damage bonus. Headstone Rhyme Stealer would also be fine, granting some damage resist. Even Kill Clip would probably be okay in that second column. I'm not crazy about sidearms in close range in PvE. High-level activities just kind of have a way of shredding you for doing that, but maybe now that Skulking Wolf is actually doing something, the PvE experience is going to be improved a little bit. Remember, it didn't used to do anything, but now when you get kills at low health, your enemies around you are going to become a little bit more inaccurate, kind of like Manticore. Alright, so moving on to our second weapon, the new Warlord Spear. It's an arc trace rifle, which we've seen before with the likes of Path of Least Resistance, a weapon that I am a huge fan of. I had a really unique build a few years ago back with Harmony and Frosties. It was incredible. I don't know if Warlords is going to reach those levels in PvP, but I think it's going to come close, and it's definitely going to surpass it in PvE. For PvP, I think there's clear-cut favorites and really interesting combos as well. High impact reserves and target lock can actually be combined. That's a little interesting, man. Double damage boosts in PvP without having to try is not something we see a lot. Will it be meta? Probably not. These aren't crazy perks here. They're not huge damage buffs, but it definitely might result in a trace rifle that's really consistent and easy to snag kills with. I don't know. I don't have it yet, so we'll find out. There's also dynamic sway, which is great, but really those 3 traits are the only ones I'd consider it in PvP. Dynamic sway, high impact reserves, and then target lock. The other damage boosts just don't make a lot of sense particularly. I don't think there's enough ammo to justify killing tally, and Desperate Measures is just way too much setup. Maybe if you're crazy, there's also a play to be made for hipfire grip and radiant dance machines, but I'm really not sure why you wouldn't just aim down sights with this thing. Now PvE is where Warlord's Spear looks like a lot more fun with traits like rewind and jolting feedback, allowing you to sit on the trigger for long periods of time, perpetually refilling the mag while also applying jolt. And with bolt charge being a thing now, man, I mean, bolt charge has single-handedly reinvigorated the potential of arc builds. Arc is just in such a better spot now, and it's great to see after years of lagging behind. If you're interested in seeing a guide for a bunch of the best arc weapons to pair with the artifact and bolt charge, then definitely subscribe. It's next on my docket. With the simple addition of bolt charge, there's just a lot more value to weapons that can apply arc effects like Warlord's Spear, so I think jolting feedback is going to serve you really well. Loose change would also pair really well with jolting feedback, seeing as it's going to improve your performance after applying a debuff and also your reload speed pretty dramatically. So that's a pretty simple loop there, and if you want to go for something even simpler, there's also easy damage options like rewind and killing tally for large mags and a pretty free 30% extra damage. There's also Detonator Beam, which is new this season, complements trace rifles pretty nicely since they're typically a single target damage weapon. Detonator Beam is at least going to spread out that damage a little bit more, and hey, it's more explosions. What's not to love? I think Warlocks with the whale helmet, or whatever it's called, could put together some really nice builds with Warlord's Spear. And remember, this thing is a special weapon, so with Spark of Beacons, you can unleash blinding blasts on every kill as long as you're amplified, which is incredibly easy. I think in the end, if you want to maximize your arc build's potential, jolting feedback is the way to go. Combine that with rewind rounds, and I think you've got a really nice ad clear special on your hands. The jolting really alleviates the limitations of a single target nature of a trace rifle, and it's just a fun trait on a trace rifle too. It just kind of feels like your beam's powering up and torches your enemies every so often. I absolutely hate Grim, and this thing torches Grim pretty nicely, so that's reason enough for me to grind it out. Anyways, that's gonna be all for this guide. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you found it helpful, and hopefully Iron Banner isn't too frustrating for you this time around. I'll be playing some Iron Banner live on Twitch this weekend, so feel free to stop by for some late night PvP. Also, I've got a Discord. Feel free to reach out to me there. We also run community events over there from time to time, and of course, like and subscribe here for more videos. Enjoy Peacebond, enjoy Warlord Spear. Let me know what you guys think of them in the comments, and of course, thank you so much for watching. Catch you guys next time.